We did it.
Hello.
Why am I so small compared to you every time? I don't understand it. How you doing, Campbell?
Good.
Having a good morning so far?
Yep.
Yeah, good day.
A great morning.
Cool. Yeah, did you have breakfast?
Yep.
Did you brush your teeth?
Yep.
Brush your hair?
Yep.
Got your hat on?
Yep.
I say we do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's start off with a little segment we like to call...
What happened last time?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit. We did talk a little bit about static versus instance variables. We did do that. But I don't think I did a great job at it, at describing it. And so I wanted to give it another chance to do it. So I think we'll talk about that a little later. I won't do it now. But you can see I've got this cool little picture right here. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. All right. There we go. That was a sneeze. We'll talk about this picture a little later. What else did we do, Campbell? You want to show me?
We worked on the power up.
Yeah, go ahead.
We made it so that we made it so that every number of blocks a power up would drop. And right now, all it can do is make you bigger. And we also made it, we dragged a video onto it as if it was a material. And, Dad, do you want me to walk you through it?
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
Okay.
Show me something cool.
You're going to walk me through it and
Yes.
show you something cool?
My show me something, there are two ways to do it as far as I know.
Do you want to be on your machine?
And my show me something cool, yeah, sure. We can do it on my machine. My show me something cool has something to do with it. It's a much easier and faster way to do it. So I was looking at video player, this thing that plays the video, and I noticed that this component is called video player.
Yeah.
There's a component called video player. So I thought, what if we added that component to the power up, the diamond?
Okay.
And then
That exact one, meaning we're kind of...
no, we're adding just the component of
just a video player
video
component.
player.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
and then what it automatically does is it gives you, it says, oh, this is the mesh renderer you want, because you added the component to that. And then all you have to do is add
the
a video clip. And then we can delete this.
What are you deleting?
The video thing that we used before. As a
Assets,
it was a render
new
texture.
render texture. You cannot undo this. Oh, you're deleting this right here
Yes.
next to my finger? Okay, got it.
And so if we delete that,
But I'm not seeing the video on it. Should we see that now?
no, not yet, I think. And then we can also delete this, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah.
Maybe. Wait, is that the one that plays in the background? That's the one that plays
No, it isn't.
It's not?
I named that wormhole maker. Also, we can see over here the video clip is the vortex wormhole travel.
Okay.
Delete. And now... Wait, did I miss anything? Oh, wait, we want it to loop. Okay, so that should... I think that's all we have to do.
And you're right. Look at that. It's playing the video on the block. You can see it also on the left side over there too. And he hits the power up and he goes up in size. That's cool.
Want to do that on your machine?
I do. Let's go do it over here on my machine. So I got the block right here. This is my power up.
It's you have to add the video player to the diamond.
To the diamond. So I go inside on the diamond, add component.
And then video player.
Nice. Choose a video clip.
Vortex wormhole travel.
Okay.
Oh, maybe make the playback speed a little faster because that's pretty slow.
And I want to loop. Did you check loop?
Yep, I checked loop.
That's weird. My playback speed is so slow. Yeah, I make it 1. That's weird. What else?
Oh,
Anything
your loop
else?
is off.
What?
Your loop, you just unchecked it on accident, I think.
Okay, what else? Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's play it and see if it works. Yeah, it works. That's awesome, Campbell. What a great show me something cool tip. Oh, I just shot my video player. I mean, I shot my power up. I blew it up. I think that's not quite the same as what's happening on your machine, but that's cool. I love it. That was great. What else did we do last time?
I think that's all we did.
We created a new track.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
But no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think we did that on Friday.
Okay. Let's play a second here. And we'll see what happens when I go off the edge. Yeah, I can hit this now. I shouldn't be able to hit that.
Yeah, wait. I don't know why.
I think I've got a bug on my side. There. So watch what happens. Watch what happens when we go off the edge. The camera... Well, hold on. We got to
We
get...
missed it that time, but...
There's a jump when we go off
It's
the edge.
just like...
Jump right there. You saw it. If I go slower off the edge, I think we'll... Look at all these power-ups. All right, here we go. Watch the jump. See the jump?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've identified the jump.
Because the player doesn't... Oh! Wait a minute. I think I know what we have to do. We have to make the player go down as fast as the camera does, too. Because what's happening is we're seeing the jump because the player's staying in its same position and we're going down.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the player moves on its own.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I've got 2 of these open up here. The player moves on its own just using the physics and the gravity. But it looks like the player's jumping because the camera's jumping.
Yeah, the camera's going down, whereas the player isn't going down as quickly. So I think what would happen is if we made the same jump with the player, it would look normal.
Yeah. Well, kind of. We saw before in the jump. Remember when we held the camera, we parented the camera by the player?
Yeah.
And when we jumped, it never looked like our player was moving. And when it moved left or right, it never looked like it was moving. We added code to have the camera kind of stay behind it a little bit, but not exactly follow it. So if these fingers are the camera right here, when we moved right, it would kind of move over a little bit.
But
and
not
when we moved
that
left,
much.
it would go over there. And when we jumped, it would go up a little bit. So what would happen is, right? Uh-oh. Somebody called the Surly Dev. The Surly Dev authorities.
In the house.
Campbell, how did Mark/Dad convince you to do 2 streams a week? I hope he doubled your fee. That's your question.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a fee.
You don't have a fee? So technically it was doubled. Hey, can you move your seat just a little bit so you're right over your name?
Yeah.
I should do the same thing. Get my name. I just can't quite get over there. Oh, well.
Keyboard move.
Yeah, it's getting a little tight over here. All right. How did I convince you to do 2?
I think it's just I really didn't like pathways.
Oh, that was your alternative, was to do another class at school, but you were able to get school
Yeah.
credit by doing this. So do this instead. That's how I always
It
did
was just the other one. It was like we would sit for 4 hours doing not much.
Yep. Surly Dev says, or you could just move the overlays. The problem is if I move them, we lose everything and you lose sound for a little bit while I change this. School credit for doing this. Wow. What's Pathways? Pathways is it's like a part of Campbell School.
Yeah, it's
where
one of my classes.
It's a project or something he's got to do.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a big deal, but it's not clearly described, I think, is the way I've heard from not
Yeah.
Campbell, but from another kid. So kids are kind of like, what's going on with it? But it's kind of like a mini doctoral thesis, I think. So anyway, we're doing this instead. And that's how I convinced him, I think. All right. I'm not sure why I'm looking at code here. So we want to move it down. Oh, I know why I'm looking at code. Because somewhere in here, is it camera follow? No.
Yeah, we moved down.
We set the
I
camera
think it's
Y. Here it is right here. Pretty sure the track transition jump is caused by the sudden change to camera Y. We verified that last time.
Yeah, we turned it off and there was no sudden jump.
Yeah, so
But we lost sight of the player.
the camera stopped moving with the player, right? The player kept going down to the next track, the next track, the next track, and eventually we lost sight of the player. So what I want to do is I want to move this over time. That's what I want to do. Instead of moving it suddenly, I want to move it over time. So let's talk about that a little bit. Talk about smooth property animation here. And what I've done is I've created a graph. Whoops, are these not all together? Let's group these together. So I have a graph here. Nothing's on it yet.
Nothing yet.
But I've got Y position because we're moving the camera Y in this example. And I've got time. And right now what happens is at some point, you know, pretty much at time 0, what happens is we just jump straight up here. I'm going to draw like a block here is what I'm going to get a filled block. What happens is we go from essentially... I love trash. Oh look, it's Professorus. Oh no! Oh, no! Don't get Oscar. For Grobosaurus. Okay, so essentially what happens is that time is 0, Campbell. But let me do one other thing. I want to get an arrow in here so we can kind of really call attention to the pieces we're talking about here. So when time is 0, we immediately set Y to whatever its value is. And I'm using 1 here to mean it's at the value whatever it's going to be. But you can make that be 3 or -3 in our example. It can be any value. I'm starting at 0, meaning it hasn't changed yet. So 1 means it's fully changed. That's what's currently happening. Okay? What I want to do is something a little bit different. I want to do something that maybe, let's for example, start with something, give me a second to build it. I want to do something that looks like this instead. So we start at time 0 and we move 0, and when we get to time 1, whatever that is, whether it's 1 second or 2 seconds or whatever, when we get to time 1, we've fully moved Y all the way over. That's what I want to do.
Yes.
And you know what I want to do, like really do? Let's see if I can get this here. Will this work? I want to do something that looks like this. What I have to do is put points in here. I want to do something that looks more like this. And what do you think that would look like in terms of movement?
Huh.
How would you describe that? Like what happens at the
Smooth.
start? Do we move a lot?
No, we move slightly.
What happens in the middle? Do we move a lot?
No.
I'm going to be quiet and let you consider the possibility that that might not be correct.
Oh, right.
And look at that again. What happens in the middle? Because look at this. This is how far we're moving. In the middle, we go from here to here in a short period of time. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And
And
what
then at
happens
the end, we barely move at all.
We barely move at all. So it moves a lot like a human being moves its arm. If I want to move my arm from here to here, right, I'm moving very quickly in the middle, but at the beginning and end, I'm going slowly. Right? I have acceleration, I reach full speed, and then I decelerate and slow down. So ultimately, I want to go here, but today we're going to do this right here. Make sense?
Okay.
Now, there's something else that's going to make this a little bit mind-blowing. In that, I don't want to write the code to do this inside of the camera class. Do you know why? The camera is what we have to move. I don't want to
No,
put the
because
code
we
there.
moved the camera in game logic.
Game logic. I don't want to put it in game logic either. You know why? Because I believe we're going to need to be able to smoothly change properties in more cases in our game. Not just in the camera.
Yeah, but if we write it in the camera class... Oh, wait, no, I mean... Oh, so we're going to create
instead
a
of
new
putting
script.
it in, yeah, we're going to create a new script. And actually, let's talk about scripts for a second here. What's going on with this idea of scripts? Scripts. What's a script?
It's a class.
Well, it's kind of a container for, it's kind of a class is what it is. It's a class. And we know already that classes can have methods and they can have properties and variables, right? That's what a class can have, all right? We talked last Saturday about static versus instance variables. Static variables are good for storing information once that is shared by many instances, right? And then I have this new picture right up here. By the way, this section of the show is called Right, LOL says, I see you. Hello.
Wow, that
Coding
was
Gorilla's
loud.
out there as well. Hey, Coding Gorilla. I just realized we have not seen Coding Gorilla. Did you come in quietly, Coding Gorilla, at the beginning? I'm not sure if you did because I didn't see your fanfare. Copper Beardy's out there. Wait, no, that's Copper. Yeah, Copper's Beard. Is that Copper Beardy? Oh, yeah, Coding Gorilla did come in quietly. All right. No worries. So, Code Jam is a section where we kind of learn more about code. And, you know, one of the great analogies for this is the cookie cutter analogy. And a cookie cutter is a lot like a class in that it determines the shape of the instance. And a cookie is like an instance. It's like an instance is something that lives when the game runs, when the game plays. When you play the game, a cookie, it's something that lives.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about what your thoughts are on what I've said so far.
I think it's true.
Okay. That's generally a good guess on anything I've said.
Yes.
Tell me about instances and classes. What your thoughts are on them so far. How would you describe them to me?
I would describe instances as, I guess, I don't want to, yeah, as one thing.
Okay.
One example of when it comes in.
Right, it's like an example. Exactly. That's a great analogy. I like that. I've got my head kind of blocking the background here. Let me just move the text up so you can see what I've got here for the text. That's going here. We'll put this over here. So in my class, I've got static methods and properties, which means I can call them without having an instance. I can just go to class and say, class, static method, do this thing. Class, property, equal this value. So I can change the shape of the class and the behavior of the class. It's kind of like a factory or a cookie maker is kind of what this thing is.
Yes.
And I can change properties and call methods on it without needing an instance. But let's say I have a method called take a bite. Would take a bite be in my class or be in my instance? Would you take a bite of the cookie cutter, or would you take a bite of an example of the cookie?
An instance.
Yeah, an instance. So take a bite would be a method that would be inside of instances. What about a method called make cookie?
That would be in the class.
That would be a static method in the class. So class could have a method called make cookie. It would give you back an instance, and then on that instance, whatever was returned back, that would be in the variable, right? I could call on that variable, I could call the method take a bite. And now I've taken a bite of my cookie. I've made a cookie, and I've taken a bite of it.
Yes.
Coding Gorilla says, my cookies all have one method called swallow whole. And it passes in a Boolean, which says chew is equal to false. So there you go, Campbell. Congratulations. You've just gotten your first computer programming joke. Not bad. Copper's beard is just Copper Beardy's beard. Click the name to see his avatar. Okay, good. I hope I don't have to make a fanfare for Copper Beardy's beard. Blueberries is out there and says, I was a volunteer teacher for a high school programming class last year. Watching this makes me miss that. Well, hopefully it'll be good. By the way, Surly Dev says, on Campbell's birthday, cookies.chocolate chip count
is equal to 100.
And that's how many that's how many chocolate chips will come out in the cookie we make.
Yes.
So that tells us a little bit about classes and instances. And we were also talking about what's the deal with scripts, right? So we come down over scripts. Scripts can have a class, and we know class can have methods and properties and variables. we can actually put, if we want, we can put two classes inside of a single file. But I have a feeling that Unity won't like that, Campbell, because when we drag it on, I'm not sure if it's going to have conflict. If it's either going to tell us you can't have two classes in the file, or it'll be like totally fine and it'll take both of the classes and assign them as behaviors, or it'll be like it'll ask us to pick one, or it'll only pick the first one. I'm imagining all those behaviors. So what we should probably do is keep one class per script, right? A script is also a lot like a file. I think we could say for now safely, and
Wait,
I'm not 100% sure of this.
Let's try. Let's see if they only take.
All right, Campbell says let's try. Let's do it. So I'm going to
add another class.
Let's see. If I created in my, let's see, what do I want to do here?
Are we going to create a class within the class or just add class after the class?
I've got player properties.
Wow,
Let's do this. I'm going to create a second class called player properties, or player properties 2 rather, like this. Okay. So I've got two different classes inside. I am going to, in the update, I'm going to check to see if the space bar is down.
Shift Enter.
So we go find my update method in here. Looks like I need to create a new one. So I'm going to create a new one. Just hit the letter M and space bar inside if you've got CodeRush installed. Update like that. And if it's down, if the key down is down, I'm just going to do this. While. And is it get key that tells, get key is what we use to see if it's up or down, not if it's pressed, right? Campbell?
Wait, get key, yeah, it says, is it down?
So
then do this.
I'm going to basically, while this is, that key is down, I'm going to go on an infinite loop here, which means I will stop the game if I press the space bar. So the test now is, when we run this, what happens when I press the space bar? Or maybe, you know what, not space. Let's do a different key. Let's do the letter A. So if I hold the letter A down, infinite loop, as long
get key
as the A key is down, I believe. I believe that's what will happen. So now if I run the game, the question is, will I still be able to jump? If I am still able to jump, we know this one is loaded. Does the A key lock everything? If so, we know this one's also loaded. Okay, that's our test. Ready? Are you ready, sir?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. All right, run. All right, spacebar jumps. Hitting the A key seems to do nothing.
Yeah, because we haven't assigned it anything. We've just said while the A key is down.
Whoops. Yeah, but the assign is when we drag it onto it, right? The player. The player properties has only this script. What if we do this? I wonder if we're going to see player properties 2.
Wait, what if we added a variable to player properties 2 and it was public, and then we could easily just see if it showed up in Unity? Wait.
Well, Campbell, it'll only show up if we see the script. I can't even see the script here.
What?
I can't even see the script here.
It's called player properties.
No, it's called player properties 2.
Yeah. No, but the script is called player properties. There are 2 classes in it, though.
No, I get that. Maybe it's... So it seems like it's just not loading our second one. I could also do this. We could remember these values, -25 and -100. I'm going to delete this player properties, remove this one, and I'll add it again one more time. Now it's got 2 classes in here. Which one is it going to use is the question. I thought I dragged it over here. There we go. Yeah, it's just using the one. I think it's because it's matching the same name. Let's come back over here to player one more time. Let's delete this, remove this script. Move component. Let's do one other thing. Let's change the names here. So this one is player properties and this one is player properties 2 or 3. Okay. Let's go back in one more time. Let's also give it a a property of type Boolean called we're in the second class. like that. So we should see that when we drag it over.
I'm getting a compiler error. Blech.
It's Campbell's machine
at least
here.
it was while I was
Audio
playing
sample
and changed to this.
provider buffer overflow. That looks like it's a runtime error, is what it looks like. I'm not sure what that is. I would have to look that up. File modification detected. Do you have? Let me bring up my mouse over to your machine. Stop moving your mouse a second. Are you writing the same code I am?
Huh? Yeah, I am. I'm just saying debug.log it worked.
Okay, cool. All right, so give me a second here. Hold on a second.
Oh, wait. Can I do something really quickly on my machine? Just going to change this to an if.
All right, so now I'm going to, anyway, back to continue. Let's go back over to my machine here. Continue where I was at. I'm going to take player properties and drag it onto player. And see now, what does it look like? It's still grabbing the wrong, what I want to say is the wrong one. How is it doing that? Why is it not grabbing this one? Why is it grabbing that one? Is it because it's the second one, the last one? Let's change the order of these. Put this one down. Take a look at my screen, Campbell, because I want you to see what I'm doing. I've taken player properties, I've moved it down. I'm now going to test one more time by dragging it on and see if we can get it. And we'll learn something, we'll hopefully learn, if it takes it this time, which, how it's grabbing the class. Right, because you said you wanted to do this, my friend.
I did.
You said, let's try it.
Yes, I did.
It is still grabbing the wrong one, what I'm calling the wrong one. This is called player property. It's grabbing, whoa! Really?
Come on. We were red code.
Pudding.
However, it is quite refreshing.
It is refreshing, isn't it? I'm at a point now, Campbell, where I do not understand what's happening. I got player properties 3. I can even call this like, something else. So I'm now calling this something else entirely. And this one's called player properties. I'm saving both of those.
Could it be that it only takes the class that has the same name as the script?
That's what I'm expecting it to be. But it seems it's not grabbing this one. It's as if it's caching it. How are we doing today? Well, we're trying to figure out. We're doing okay, I think. Let's go back to players. Take player properties, drag it on. What's happening now? Now nothing happened.
Try doing the add component and adding player properties. Could have just not been working. Wait, no. There, what? Yeah. And then looking up
what am I doing?
player
Script?
properties. It's hard to see because of the planet.
Oh, the planet? All right, I did it. I'm blown away as to how this is happening. It seems to be caching something is what it seems to be doing. It's grabbing. How does it know? Like, I've just come in and called this something else, but it's using this something else instead of player properties right here.
Try putting player properties first.
I did. I had it first, but I'll do it again. I'm happy to try it one more time.
Maybe it's just a combination of it has to be called player properties.
Let's do this. Let's come in here, bring this down here, call this first class, and see what happens. I'm not seeing first class here. Move component, add component, scripts, player properties. Yeah, I don't get it. At this point, nothing is making sense to me.
Oh, wait, you have a compiler error.
Cannot reparent window to suggested parent. Window will not automatically close. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see if I can undo this all the way back to where we had those negative values in there. Kind of reverse it, reverse it, reverse it. There we go, right there. So back to player. That was the original player properties. Let's go in and I'm going to restore this. I'm going to get rid of this. So at this point, it seems like there's something going on, and I'm going to call this. What I'm going to call this is a cache. And a cache is a lot like a piggy bank, where you put money you want to use later and save it, right? So you just put it in the bank instead of carrying it on your person and always having to count to see how much it is. You just put it in the bank, and you've got all that money there if you need it later. And I think what's happening is it feels like it is using something. It's holding something in memory, even though we're making radical changes to this in here. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to kind of create a new... At this point, we don't have an answer to the question, I think, Campbell. And what I'd like to do is... hold on a second. Let me switch to your machine. What's going on over here? What are we doing?
I'm trying to figure out what that, what this compiler error is. It seems to start, like, the second, something happens to one of the blocks. When it gets, not blown away.
I'm going to try it on my machine and see what happens on my machine when we run the game, see if I see the same errors. Here's my machine right here. Let's run it. See what we get here. I do not want to maximize this. Run it again so I can see the console. Nope, I thought I was not maximizing. Okay, I do not have those errors at this point. All right, let's see if we can figure it out on your machine. Let's switch back over to look at your machine. So Campbell's looking at these errors right here. Audio sample provider buffer overflow. I'm going to bring my mouse onto your machine. Is that okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Try to figure out when it starts and if there's anything before when it starts. Are you grabbing the mouse?
Yeah, I'm grabbing the mouse.
Then tell me if you're going to do that.
Yeah, sorry. I tried opening it, but it's not working.
What's this? End layout group, begin layout group must be called first. I'm not sure what that is. All right, so at this point, since there doesn't seem to be any clue as far as what's happening, audio sample provider buffer overflow, I'm going to search for it. So let's come in here. Audio sampler, audio, is it audio sample provider?
Overflow.
Buffer. So buffer is a bunch of memory.
Yeah.
And an overflow is when we write more than we should, and we go over the edge of it. Newbie Unity dev trying to fix and understand this error, but I keep getting when I try to play certain videos in my scene.
Oh, that's probably it.
When audio samples are produced faster than whatever is consuming them in your specific setup. Did you change the speed?
I changed the playback speed because I just wanted to make it a little faster.
Ah.
No, wait, I didn't.
Oh, no, you did not. Wait, is
it in the wormhole maker? No. Oh,
yes, it is.
Playback speed.
1.35, right up over there. Try that. Drop it down.
Wait, to 1.
Yeah, just put it at 1.
Now, we should not get those.
Well, let's see. Okay. So one of the things that's cool about this one of the things that's cool about what just happened is it's a great lesson when you're programming, and that is if you make a change, if you can do a quick test, you can quickly know, right, if the if you've got a problem or not.
Yep,
right?
My game quickly slows down if we get too many power-ups in.
Ooh, that must mean there's a problem with the power-up logic.
Like, here, wait. Can I show you what happens?
Mm-hmm.
1 power-up is okay. But if I destroy all of these blocks, and then all of these, and then see it's slowing down. Uh-oh, and now the videos aren't being played until...
It's trying to play videos on all of the power-ups. That might be what's slowing it down.
Yeah.
Because the power up has that, we want to have only one power up on screen. So we should write some code
To clean up.
to not drop a power up until as long as there's one already on screen.
Oh, wait. We can also... wait, Dad.
By the way, Blueberries just said, it's been a hot minute since I've seen a buffer overflow error. This is exciting. All right. It was exciting until we fixed it. And then it was like, okay, we can get back to normal. Yeah. We need like, oh no. That kind of a sound effect or something. Go ahead, Campbell. What do you want to say?
I think... Wait, is it in power up logic? No. No, wait, it is.
Tell me.
1 second. Okay. So, we have a variable that is called, wait, no, I think it's in game logic. Sorry. Bleh. That is called number of blocks to power up.
Right.
Blocks to power up.
Where is that? Well, you know what you can do is you can hit the enter key on the numeric keypad. And because CodeRush is loaded, you'll bring up a special menu. You can set up these, jump to symbol. So start typing what you remember from it. Num blocks to power up. See it down there, the second one? Just hit the down arrow and enter. Since your fingers are already on the keyboard. Num blocks to power up.
And then tab to next reference?
Yep. All right, so num blocks.
We can just change this. Is it public? Yeah, it is public.
Wait. Let's tab down and see how it's used. Yeah, you know, you're right, it is. But we're not doing anything.
Yeah, we are.
We're not changing num blocks to power up.
No.
So
why would we do that?
Well,
wait, we are.
Once you hit one, we might change it. But
we're changing number of blocks destroyed.
Right.
To
no,
0.
you're right. You can just change it in the script. Num blocks to power up. Make it 10
No,
or
we have
something.
to change it in Unity because it's public. It's in missile behavior. That's weird. Wait, no, it's not.
There it is. Num blocks to power up.
Let's make this 10.
Sure. And this is not going to guarantee that only one's on screen at a time.
Yes.
But it'll reduce the number that are coming down.
Uh-huh.
And I bet your game doesn't slow down.
Yeah.
So you destroyed one block, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a power up right there.
Created.
You got it.
And then we should also probably make it...
We need to hide the power up once it's gone behind you.
Yeah, and we should maybe also make it so that the power up effects wear off after a little bit.
Yes, we should. Let's look at what happens when it goes behind us. I feel like we've already got code to do this.
We do.
And it's inside of our obstacle logic. It's this bit right here.
We're not seeing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, buddy. It's that right there. Hold on a second. I'm going to take the CodeRush drone here and we'll get rid of that. It's this bit of code. This is it. If the transporter position is behind the camera. Okay? Well, I really want to take this, and this, and I want to put it in its own script so that we can just drag that behavior onto any object that we want to get rid of as soon as it goes behind the camera.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't want to have to rewrite this code
every time
we need this behavior. There's a slight problem, though, is that we have this live idea here. I think the live needs to go with it as well. So I think what I want to do, I want to kind of move these two right here. I want to move that one, and I want to move this one, and I want to move this, and I want to move this. That makes sense, Campbell?
Yep.
And why again do I want to do that?
So that we don't have to write this code every time.
Yeah, so let's try it. I'm going to create a new script. Before I move, I'm going to create a new script. Now, what's the deal with live, Campbell?
Live is checking, is it not destroyed?
Yeah.
Is it still...
Now, what's going on with this expression right here? Tell me what's happening there.
That... I want to say that it makes sure that it is not the prototype.
Yes, it's exactly right. It's checking to see if the position is greater than 0.
Because the prototype is positioned at, I think, either 0 or less than 0.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I think it's under the floor. Is the prototype, and so I want to change that too. I wonder if there's. I just want to do a quick search here. I'm going to say Unity, and I want to see. Tell if an instance was created with instantiate call.
Or not.
How to detect if any prefab is instantiated in the scene from a script. Yeah, it says tagging. Find game objects with tag. Otherwise, so we're kind of doing this same thing. All right, I just want to see if there's a way to do it, and there's not. So let's go ahead and create a new script. I'm going to create a new script over here in Unity. Get to my project. Right-click, create, C# script. Where is it? I just created it. I don't even see it. Player properties, obstacle. Oh, new behavior script. It's right there. All right. Can I rename it? All right, fine. I'm going to delete this. Try again. Delete. The reason I'm deleting is because I've seen problems when we rename it. So anyway, here, let's do it one more time. Create C# script. Now, if I type something in, do I see it being typed? I really don't. It's really weird.
I feel like it's done that before, where you create it and then you type something and that's what its name is.
Yeah, it's really kind of locking it up on me here. I'm typing things in.
Try right-clicking it and then saying rename. Yeah, that's an option.
I'm typing stuff in and nothing's coming out. Hold on.
Is it being changed in here? In this?
I think this might be the problem right here. Hold on. I think that might have been my problem. All right, let's go back in one more time, see if we can rename it. No? There's no error here now. We tried deleting, and one more time. Let's double check over here. Uh-oh. I think I got a problem. And I think I'm looking at a restart is what I think I'm looking at. All right, so on your side, create a new script. I'm going to close this down. Yeah, I would agree with that. And remember when I was making all those changes to the class and doing those crazy things, Campbell?
Uh-huh.
I think that may have gotten this into a state that is not great. Let me see if that's enough. If just shutting down Visual Studio and bringing it back up would help us out. I may not have to restart Unity. All right, did you create a new script?
Huh?
Switch over to your machine. Did
Oh,
you
no,
create
I
a new
have not.
script yet?
Oopsies.
All right, back over to mine. Here we go. Create C# script. Yeah, it seems to be having trouble.
No, it's working on my screen.
Here, let's look at your screen while I delete it.
What are we calling this?
I want to call this...
Is it behind camera? No, that's too long.
Yeah, I think it's like a delete behind camera is what I think it is. I want it even longer than what you're suggesting. I want to say...
Delete.
Yeah, or remove when behind or something like that. Delete behind. Maybe like that.
Cam.
What do you think about that? You don't have to call it camera. You can just say call it delete behind if you want. All right, I am starting up on my side. I'm starting back up my first KidzCode project here.
It says file modification detected. The solution first KidzCode project has been
Try
modified.
this. I want you to right click on your Dropbox icon in the bottom right. Let me do this for you a second. Hold hands off the mouse a second. I want to pause syncing on this. I have a feeling this may be happening from Dropbox. I'll say reload for now.
Reload.
See what happens.
Save.
See which trouble we get into with that option. All right, so delete behind camera. Cool. Meanwhile...
Wait, uh-oh, something wrong has happened.
What's wrong?
It's saying that there are 0 references. Unity is to start and update.
I think we're okay with that. I don't think that's necessarily something wrong. All right, back over to my machine. We'll do this together. So I'm going to catch up with you. I'm going to say create a new C# script. Now it's highlighted for me. Now I'm going to say, what is it? Delete behind?
Yeah, I said delete behind camera, but...
We're going to do the whole thing? Delete behind camera? That's fine. Delete behind camera. Like that. Let's open that up. Let's also go to... All right, so I've got the same thing as that you have here. Let's go to... Hold on. I'm going to delete this a second. Close this one down, I mean. And then we have the missile behavior. Is that where we do this? Nope. It was in obstacle behavior, I think, is where it was. Yeah. So I'm going to take these 2 lines from obstacle logic, and I'm going to remove them. So step 1 is to do that. And then I cut them to the clipboard. Then I'm going to go to delete behind camera, and I'm going to paste them in. Okay. So I've done that. Then I'm going to take this bit of code right here, and I'm going to bring it over as well. Whoops, not there, sorry. I want to bring that in to, what is it? I think it's fix update. Right there. And I want to use, do I want to use live? Or do we just want to say, hey, all our prototypes are down below the Y plane? Oh, you know what? This won't work, though. Because we're dropping down as we go into future tracks, Campbell.
Yeah.
Why won't this work?
because the track, the prototypes will be less than 0 eventually.
Right. As with the track lowers, this eventually won't work.
Wait. I have an idea. Instead of using transform.position.y is greater than 0, we do transform.position.z is less than whatever the z position of.
I like that idea a lot. That gets rid of live. I love it. In fact, I'm going to cut that. I'm going to bring it back over to obstacle logic because we kind of needed that. I love this idea. It's a great idea. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to type in 3 slashes at the top of this.
Whoa.
You can do the same on yours.
3 slashes?
Yeah, 3 slashes. Go ahead and do it. I'll switch to your machine. Do it at the top of the class, up above delete behind camera.
Here?
Above the class.
Oh, above, but here?
Yeah, right there. Type in 3 slashes. And now you've got what's called a summary documentation comment, and this will information
so we can
is
say this is what it does.
yes.
Basically.
And so what you can do here is you can say, hey, well, let me figure out what I want to write on mine. I'm going to switch over to my machine here, and then I'll just copy and paste it into yours if you want. Deletes instances. This is going to be a little crazy what I'm about to write. Instantiated. I don't think I've spelled that word right. Instantiated. There we go. Instantiated deletes cloned instances instantiated with a prototype. Prototype. And then I'm going to say keep all your prototypes behind the start of the track. In other words, where z is less than 0, I think. Does that make sense, Campbell?
Yeah.
So z is less than 0. What do I have to do to get that? Not a... Is it that? Is it that? I don't remember. It's less than LT to get that. Is it that? I think it might be that. Z is, I'm just going to write this out, less than 0. Okay. So now what that means is, that's a great idea, Campbell. I really like the way you're thinking here. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of checking to see this part, I'm going to say, and Z is what?
Is
that's
greater than whatever the Z of the prototype is.
That's what I think Z is greater than 0. Prototype synonymous with prefab. No, it's not, Blueberries. For us, a prototype is just an object that we've put up here in the game that we want to build other things based on it. So I've got that there. I've got a my prototype block is here. There, you can see it there. So all of these, if I zoom out enough, should be behind that Z plane. So here you can see this guy Z is negative right here. And let's go back to the, so that's my prototype block, and then my power up is also prototype. That Z is not negative, so we need to make it negative. So let's just make it -5, like that. And so now we've got the pieces we don't want to destroy back here. What about the missile?
Oh, the
missile prototype. I want to do the same thing.
Not negative. Oops.
I'm going to make it -5 as well. So it's now in the back. It's now back behind that starting plane. And, you know, I could throw them all together so we can kind of see them. So the idea here is I don't want to destroy these guys when they get behind the camera. But I do want to destroy anything else that falls back behind the camera, because I want to just clean stuff up. So I'm creating a script that allows me to do this with all of these objects here. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, looks like that moved that way too low. Hold on. There we go. And then my prototype block is way too low as well. Let's just make this up at 0. All right. Okay. All right, cool. So now I've got my prototypes right back over here. Is this a required common practice with Unity? I've had issues with this conceptually myself in terms of creating game objects at runtime. Web dev by job, relatively new to Unity. Okay, so Blueberries is asking, is this a common practice? I don't know, because we are both new to Unity as well. I would say that at least that's true for me. Campbell, would you say you're new to Unity as well? By the way, Campbell is doing the same thing over there on his machine. He's moving those pieces around. However, it seems interesting to me that there's not a better way to just tell if something's instantiated live or was created at the start of the game. You know, I guess another way we could do it is we could set a creation time in its constructor and save that and just check to see if the creation time was, you know, near the start of the game, in which case we wouldn't care. But I think this is not a bad approach, right? We're just going to move the z-axis back. So now with this behavior...
Wait, can you paste all that code?
Yeah, I can. Let me get the summary, and I'll bring it over to your machine over here. Here's Campbell's machine. Paste that in right there. And back over to my machine. And we're now going to do that. So if the transform position, if Z is greater than 0, and it's behind the camera, right? I actually kind of want to swap the order of these. I want to put this one here first because my mind just likes to think, you know, better. Is it further ahead? Is it in front of the track, the starter track? Is it there? And is it behind the camera? By the way, one of the things we can do to make this code easier to read is we can come in here and introduce a local. And the local, we're going to call this be, whoops, I don't want a local for that. Hold on, let me undo it a second. I want a local for this whole expression. So Campbell, the Z greater than 0. What does that mean to you? What would you describe that as? What word for a variable would you give it if Z was greater than 0?
In front. Positive. Positive.
Okay,
if it
so
has a positive Z.
We can say positive Z. But what really does that mean in terms of our track?
It means that it's in front of us?
Yeah. It's like after the start of the track. Or it's on the track is maybe another way of saying it. On the track. Right? And now what about this second one here? If Z is less than camera position Z. What would we call that if we were going to give it a name?
Behind camera.
Perfect. And now, so look at the code we have now. Now we have these two variables.
If it's on the track and it's behind the camera.
Do you find that easier to read than what we started with?
Yeah.
Then that's why we do this. Okay? So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring that over into your machine over here. Here's Campbell's machine. I'll pop that on there.
And then the also public.
Oh, you've got a slight error there, or not, like it looks like an error because we're missing this line of code here for you.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Right? Oh, well, you were about to say it?
I was. I was saying.
I trust you.
Remember the public, and then I couldn't think of the word that we used as a variable. The type.
There you go. Public variable is what that is. So now we've got a camera. So delete behind camera.
Could you turn down the music a bit? Just the tiniest bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
How's
okay.
that?
That's good.
Okay. Now we've got this super cool delete behind camera behavior. And now we should be able to go and drag this onto anything we want to delete behind that gives behind the camera. As long as we have followed these instructions, it says keep all your prototypes behind the start of the track. I want to really emphasize that. Behind the start of the track. So Z is less than 0. Okay. All right, cool. So let's try it and see if it works. So if we don't do anything now, let's just first verify that it doesn't work, right? Because I haven't dragged it on yet, Campbell. So I'm going to play the game and we're going to look over in this one over here. And we're going to look at when I pass by the prototype blocks, do they continue to stay? Right? Now, one of the things that is happening is we've got another thing happening where they're kind of collecting.
What do you mean?
They're moving in space. They're moving up to
the black hole.
The black hole. That's what I mean. Right? So they are kind of going to be destroyed and removed anyway. Let's go find the player. There's the player right there.
Wait, for the prototype block, we shouldn't drag that script onto it. Because for the prototype block, we want it to be, once it's behind the camera, we want to suck it towards the black hole and then delete it.
Maybe we do it for the missiles and we do it for the power up.
Yeah, power up.
So let me delete something. Let's get the power up and see if we can see it. So I'm going to go over here. Wait. Yeah, it's a little tricky on here. I am going to go to, I guess I'll just go to the player. I think it's time for...
Show me something cool.
All right. So I'm going to show you something cool, Campbell. Check this out. If I want to take a look, if I want to go follow this thing, I hit the letter F on it. But I don't hit it when when this has focus. I have it when the scene has focus. So I click on scene over here, but player is selected, and I hit the letter F. We'll go find it. And I can change my camera angle here a little bit so we can kind of see what's going on with it there. Right? See that? Mm-hmm. So I can just hit the letter F, and it'll just kind of come to it. If I hold down Shift F, it'll just follow it like that. Can't seem to move away from it with the Shift F. But anyway, that's it. That's a way to kind of follow that and to take a look at it. Just hit the letter F or the Shift F, and you can either follow it or see it at any time. Okay, so let's see. What do we want to do with this new thing? I want to test it again and see. How are we dropping the prototypes? The power-ups.
I think we're
Where's the property num blocks to drop? Where was that for you? Was that in missile behavior? Missile prototype. Yeah, num blocks to power up. Right there. So this is a property we set that when the number of blocks to power up, when we've blown up that many blocks, we're going to drop a power up. So what I want to do to test this is run, drop a power up, run, shoot a missile, blow up the block, see a power up drop, and go right by it. And we should see it not collected. What do you think about that? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I did.
And what do you think about that?
I think that works.
Well, let's see if it works. We'll do it. So I'm going to play run here. Shoot the missile. Go off to the side. You see that power up? There's the power up right there. I'm going to hit the letter F. F on it. There it is. So it's not destroyed.
Huh.
And there you can see the track and everything's going. So it's still there. We want to destroy this. Okay. So now let's try dragging that new behavior on it.
Delete behind. Nope. Delete behind.
That one?
Yep.
Onto my power up.
Power up or diamond?
Power up. Because a diamond is just an owned piece inside of it. And these never change.
Yeah.
Right? Do you understand why they don't change?
Because they're always the same relative to...
Right. So the Z will always be 0. There's never anything it'll always be the same answer. But the power up is at -5. So let's try that. We'll do the same test again. I'll shoot that. I'll get out of the way of the power up. And now we've got it. We're watching it over here.
No, you forgot to add
cameras move by it.
You forgot to drag the camera
You're right. Look at my error right down there in the bottom. Good job. All right, cool. So let's do that. We have to set the camera. And whoops. Main camera, I think, is our camera. Let's try again. I feel like we're going to get close this time. Shoot it. Get out of the way. There it is. And when we go by it, we're moving past it now, and it's gone. It works. Cool. So now we can do the same thing on our missiles. We can go take that same delete behind, drag it onto our missile prototype, and set its camera to the main camera. And now missiles will automatically be destroyed as well if they go behind. All right, let's switch over to your machine, Campbell. Take us through the steps to do the same thing there. Have you done that?
Wait a minute. Okay, sorry, my game just wasn't working for a second.
The variable camera of delete camera behind has not been assigned.
That's an old one. I already assigned it.
I think it may not be an old one. I think you might have a second property because it was just running. Do you have a second that delete behind camera script attached to another object is my question.
Oh, did I accidentally attach it to this? No.
Check all of them.
Didn't attach it. Oh, I did on accident. Haha.
Oh, to the diamond inside?
Yeah. I don't know why. I was dragging and then I must have accidentally
Okay.
slipped my mouse.
No worries. What do we got? Power up. Do you think that's it? You
Pretty
you did it to the power up. Did you also drag it onto the missile prototype?
No, I haven't. Delete behind to missile.
And then for folks who are just here kind of joining us, the yellow blocks that get sucked into the black hole, those we have some code that checks to see do they get close to the black hole, and if they do, they are deleted. They're removed from the game.
Why isn't it at the top?
The main camera?
Oh, come on.
Because it's alphabetical? Is that
Yeah,
why?
it's alphabetical.
You don't like that?
No, it should be in the same order as it is in the
I wonder if there's a way to change the order to make it hierarchical. Can you do that? If you click on that button, is there another way to view the list? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. If you scroll all the way to the top.
All the way to the top.
Nope. I already saw the answer to my question. No, I was just wondering if there's any other UI at the top to show it in a different way. You can also, though, drag it, though, right? You can drag it from over
Yeah, I
to the
can
left,
drag it,
but you drag it all the way across the screen,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of effort. I get it.
Especially on a big monitor.
If you renamed main camera to camera, it would be close to the top. Because it's alphabetical.
It would be, yeah, it would be second.
If you want to do that. I was thrown by the word main camera as well. I think I'm going to rename that on mine.
Because it is our only camera, right?
Yeah. It's our only camera right now, right? Maybe later if we have more, we can call this one camera 2 or camera 1.
I have caps lock on.
All right.
Oh,
so
wait.
We want to talk about animating smoothly.
Can I do something before we do that?
Yeah, of course.
This is kind of a show me something cool, but it's not for Unity or a Visual Studio. It's just for computers in general. I learned this. I always get really annoyed.
Yeah? You get really annoyed? How can you be annoyed with all these Legos hitting our heads? Hey.
Mr. Spoopy, this is... Oh, my feet!
You okay? Why'd your feet get hurt? Oh, because you
The
stepped on the
Legos!
Legos. That's because you're wearing bare feet. I got my Lego shoes on.
So I always click caps lock, and I don't realize it.
Yeah.
And so then when I go to type, it's all caps, and it's really, really annoying.
Yeah, it is.
So I think if you hold numlock down for 7 seconds, it might be.
Numlock or caps lock?
Numlock. Yes. Do you want to turn on toggle keys? It causes like a little beep or like a small sound every time you do caps lock, numlock, or scroll lock.
So numlock for 5 seconds. I'm doing it now.
I think it might be 7.
I think it just said it in there. It was 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening on my machine. Was it numlock for 5 seconds?
It's numlock. Yeah. Wait a minute.
That is not working for me, apparently. How you doing, Smoofy? Glad you're here.
Is your volume all the way down?
My volume?
Yes.
Check.
Oh, wait,
check.
no, that's not the problem. Huh.
What are you thinking? What's going on in your head?
It's not working for me now.
Holding it down, the numlock?
Yep.
You just did it. That was so weird. I've seen Shift key do something if I hold Shift key down long enough.
Yeah. There's also if you do Shift key a bunch of times, sticky keys.
Sticky keys, yeah. Yep.
And
Cody
then-
Gorilla, we don't have a keyboard shortcut for that yet, but I think we can do that. Hold on a second.
We can do what?
I'm not sure if that's appropriate for a show, Campbell, to be honest. There we go. There you go. Yep, that's the third one right there. That's party 3. All right, so let's go back to smooth animation. All right, can we do that, my friend?
Yes.
All right, so right now we have a problem where we change camera Y from 0 to something -3 immediately.
Yeah.
And it just is jarring. And I want to at least go to here. I want to create something that can do this. So I think what I'm going to do, is this. I'm going to come in here. And I've never done this before in Unity, so there may be some issues with it. But I'm going to create a new class. And I'm going to call this class, I'm going to call it my smooth, should it be my smooth operator? There was a song called Smooth Operator. Did you ever hear that song,
It's Smooth
Campbell?
Criminal, I think.
Smooth Operator.
Oh, wait.
You know that song?
No, I don't.
Smooth Operator. Okay, well, we can do that. We can call it Smooth Movement
Wait, why are you making a class?
X-Lax. That was like from my childhood. We used to say that. We'd be like, Smooth Movement X-Lax when you did something that wasn't very cool. Or we can just call that Smooth Mover. Smoothie says that's a bit before his time. I believe that. We can just call it a smooth mover. What do you want to call this? This is going to be a thing that moves things smoothly.
I think smooth movement is fine.
All right, cool. Are your earphones out of yours because the music's too loud?
Yeah.
I can drop it down. How's that?
Good.
Okay. All right, so that's the smooth mover. All right. To be able to do this.
Why is it a class?
What?
Why is it a class?
Because I want to put the code for smooth movement here, and I want to not put it everywhere else I need it.
You didn't
I think I'm going to
rename
need it in more than one place.
You didn't rename the class, though.
No, I didn't. But watch this.
Oh, wait, you can't do 2 classes, though.
Watch this. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say move type to file. And now I've got a smooth mover in its own file. Now I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. So the first thing I'm going to test is see if I can create an instance of this.
Wait, why? We could just write code here and then do the get component.
I want to see if I can create an instance first. I want to make sure Unity can see this. So inside here in my start, I'm going to say, I'm going to create new smooth mover, just like that. And it looks like it sees it. I'm going to set a breakpoint here, say attach to Unity. I'm going to try and see if we can get this breakpoint and see if it runs. If it runs, then I know I can create another class, move it to its own file, and I'm good to go. So I've attached to Unity. Now I think I have to come over here and run. What's this say? Maybe attach switch off in your project. Enable debugging for all projects. All right, let's run. And we should get right to the breakpoint before the game starts. Good. And if yes, it's perfect. We're in good shape. Okay. So now I'm going to stop that right there. Debug, detach all. I don't need to continue debugging. All right. So now I've got this smooth mover. What do I need, Campbell, to make this work? What do I need? What do I need to keep track of?
The time.
Okay, so I need to know the
the
time.
position.
And do I need to know the absolute time or the amount of time that's passed?
The amount of time that's passed.
Okay, so I need to figure that out, which means I need kind of a creation time. I need to know when this thing is created. Or maybe a start time. I need to know when it started.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Yes?
I think creation time.
Can you sit up a little bit because your eyes are just barely seen on the show?
Oh.
All right. So I want to create. I want to have I think I'm going to have a method in here called start. And when I call start, it's going to set the start time. That's what I think I'm going to do. So I need to have what we call a date time. That stores time, Campbell. And to do that, I'm going to type in V for variable and then D8. What do you think that's going to give me?
Variable of type date time.
Yeah, you can say date time or system.datetime. So we're going to call this the start time.
Start time.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that.
Or alternatively, hold on.
Why is it so cold? Oh, the fan.
Is the fan on?
Yeah.
I can turn that off. There you go. All right. Alternatively, we might not work with the date time. Because what's Unity give us? Unity time. What's Unity time.time? Do you remember what that is?
Yeah. It's... No. We don't need it anymore. So, I forgot it.
This is the time in seconds since the start of the game.
Right. It's the current time.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do... I think I might do something like this. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to type in M, and then I'm going to create a, that's for method. I'm going to say start, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to do this, say start time equals, and I'm going to say time.time. Is what I'm going to do, which is going to be a different, I'm going to get, it's going to be a different, oh, it's not seeing time, and you know what, why it's
you
not.
don't have the Unity engine.
Beautiful. Good job figuring that out, Campbell. Right, so let's go back and add that up at the top. So using the Unity engine, good job, right? All right, so now we've got this. Now I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to come in and, oh, shoot. This is an issue we reported last time. They fixed it, but I didn't download the new one. What's this, a float? All right, so we're going to declare this as a float. Yeah, he's awesome. That's you, Campbell.
They were talking about me, yeah.
All right, this is going to be a public method because I want to call it from outside of this, my smooth mover. So when I say start, we're going to say start time is equal to time. Then I want something that gets the Y or gets the value. That's going to return a float as well. So I'm going to type in MF like this to create a method that returns a float. All right, and let's do this. Let's catch you up with me over here. Let's switch over to your machine. Go over into any of your files. It doesn't matter which one. Go up above the class. Go up above the public class right up there. And on an empty line, type in C and then the space bar.
C space.
Call this smooth move.
Smooth move.
Right? Is that what we're calling it? Smooth mover is what we're calling it. Two O's in
I thought
smooth.
it was smooth movement. Oh, yeah. Oopsie.
Smooth mover.
Sometimes, oh, wait.
And I have an uppercase M for mine.
Yeah.
All right?
Sometimes when I'm writing, I'll just like I'll write like the first letter of a word and then move on for some reason, or I'll like write a word with not both of the letters. Like,
oh, interesting.
With smooth.
Okay. Then what you want to do? Take a look at my screen. You've got a float start time. So how do we create a variable of type float?
Oh, it's a variable. Wait. VF.
Yeah, VF.
Wait, should I put this here?
Yeah. In space.
Space.
And call that start time.
Start time.
And I would start this with a lowercase because it's a private field variable. There you go. You can copy that to the clipboard. Just get the caret on it and hit Control C. Coders will copy that for you. And then
because it's smart cut and copy.
Yeah. So now go down like after your. So this line 7 is something called a constructor. And that constructor is called when we construct a new instance of it. Not a big deal, but after that constructor, go after that constructor and add an empty line after line 10.
Oh, wait.
And now type in M and then hit the spacebar. And call this...
I thought it was going to be an MF.
Start. You're going to get that in a second. You haven't caught up with me yet. You need the start method. And start, just hit enter twice. Once here. You don't need any parameters down here. You're going to set start time, which should still be on the clipboard. Paste that in. Set it equal to what?
Time.
Do it. Good, semicolon. All right, now go down after this method. Start's got to be public. Do you remember how to cycle the visibility?
Wait, which start?
The start method. Yeah, we need to call it from outside of this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Alt up and down. Oops.
There you go. Now go to after the start method, we're going to create another method. This time we're going to use MF because we want a method to return a float. This is going to get the value. And we're going to call this like get value.
Get value.
And I want uppercase letters for get and for value.
But it's private.
It's going to be public.
What?
Well, is it useful to get the value from outside of this? Yeah, it is. Now, we're going to pass in a float. So type in VF, V for variable, F for float. And this is going to be the current time.
Current time. Is it private or public?
With parameters, there's no visibility. It's the same visibility as whatever the method is. In other words, you can't see it. So
Why is T so big? And N.
Why are those letters so big?
keyboard.
I think it's just the font.
No. On the keyboard. N and T are so big.
Oh.
The other letters aren't.
You're working on the Microsoft Natural Keyboard.
Yeah, but why are those bigger?
I think to make it so it had kind of nice alignment on the. Here, I'm doing a search for a picture of the Microsoft Natural Keyboard, so people can see what you're talking about. I just wanted to open up the picture. That's what I wanted. Okay, so you're asking about these keys here.
Yeah, and G is also a bit bigger.
Right.
So
I think if they made them smaller, we'd have not a smooth edge here.
That's true.
And I think if we didn't see a smooth edge here, maybe people wouldn't buy it so much. That's what I think. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Wait, why wouldn't they just make all of the keys a little bit bigger?
Because you want the distance on the home keys to be about this far apart, right here. Because of the way my fingers are lining up on the keys when I use it.
Oh.
No,
wait, the home keys don't matter. Because we're doing it on the top row and the bottom row.
Here, look at how my fingers are on the keys, right? So these are my fingers on the home keys right here, right? So these, we want them to be close together. I've got stickers on mine. It looks like this sticker's coming off right here, but I've got stickers on mine because I've rearranged where they go.
Yeah.
To create a more efficient layout of keys. But we need these to be about the same. So we just need to reach over to these. So the question is, why do they make these bigger? I think so you get these nice smooth line right here.
But no, with the home lines, we wouldn't be changing the home keys. We wouldn't be changing those. We would be changing the top row and the bottom row.
No, the middle row too. Look at the G.
The G and the H are equal though.
You want them all that size.
What?
You want all the keys the same size as the G and the H.
No. I want. So since we have this smooth edge, right? What if we gave a little bit more space to each of the top keys?
You can do that, but I think there's something going on here, right? When I put my finger between two keys, I can feel that I'm between two keys. If I make the keys fatter, this space changes, and I can't feel it so much.
Yeah, well, that's already the case with the T and the N.
Okay, if I make the keys wider, I now have to hold my hands further apart. That's what I'm talking about, the home keys, right? My fingers need to be this far apart because that's kind of naturally where they want to sit.
We wouldn't be changing the home keys.
Okay, so you want to change just the top row and the bottom row?
Yes, because the N and T are bigger. Never mind, we can just keep going with it.
You want to think about this for a while? We can come back to it later. All right. Hold on, let me switch back over to my machine for a second. I'm going to turn off the, where's the, oh, okay, I think I see what's going on. All right. Sorry, back over to you. I just want to turn off that keyboard camera, but it looks like it's good. All right, so now we're going to pass in the current time, return the value. Can you make this one public too? Party 3 doesn't work yet, Pudding. All right, good. So now what we've got to do is get the value based on the current time. Now, we need to know... There's Party 2. Hey, get out of here. All right. We need to know let's do this. Go up to line 4. I want to move this class to its own file. So hit the CodeRush key.
Control dot.
Choose move type to file.
Ooh.
Notice it grabbed Unity Engine for you because it saw that we needed it because of line 11.
Genius.
Okay. Now we want to call get value. No. What do we need to calculate the get value? So
wait, why would we be getting a value? Whoa.
Right? If I call get value at 1, I want to return a 1. If I call get value at 0...
Wait, why is get value incorrect?
What?
Get value, it says that it's incorrect.
Oh, because we're not returning any value yet. It's just incomplete. We're going to add some code here later, but we don't have it. I kind of want to think about this, right? If I passed in a time between 0 and 1, what would I return from that function to get values between 0 and 1 that would match this line? Do you understand that question? And can you think of that? What that would look like?
No.
Okay, let's look at it this way. If I pass in a 0 to the function, I want to get a 0 back.
Yes.
What would that function look like? In other words, if current time was 0 and we wanted to return a value of 0, how could we do that on line 15?
We could set current time equal to time.
Yeah, it's not a set. It's actually something called return. Do you remember return?
It means we're done with this?
Yeah, we're leaving the method. And if the method returns a value like getValue does, it returns a float. See the word float next to the left there? It's going to return a float. So we can return a number. So for example, if you go down to line 15 and you type in R0 and spacebar, CodeRush will generate a return statement for you. Line 15, line 15.
Oopsies.
You have to be inside the method. R0. So right now, if I pass in 0 to this method, what is it going to return?
A 0.
You've won! You did it!
However, if we pass in 2, it's still going to pass out 0, correct?
Wait. Are you saying it's too soon to do this?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Too soon.
So I got to go back and do a little more work?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Let's go back and look at your code. Right. If I pass in a 1, it's not going to return a 1.
It's going to return a 0.
Yeah. What did he win, CodeRush? I'm pretty sure you won.
It's a brand new car!
Congratulations!
Yay!
No, it's not.
Wait, I don't know how to drive.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Then I have to take the car back. Those are the rules. Sorry. Okay. If current time is a 1, we could delete this line of code here a second. Hold on. Delete line 15 for a second.
Oh, shift.
type in R1 and hit the spacebar.
R1.
Now, if current time is a 1, we could return a 1.
No, we have to say.
And that would work, and we'd be winners, right?
No! No, because what if we passed in a 0? It would still return a 1.
All right. What if current time was half? 0.5, like half of a second. We'd want to return 0.5. What if current time was 0.3? We'd want to return...
If current time is equal to... No.
Can I take it? Hold on. Let's consider this. What if we did this for a second? If current time equals 0, then return 0.
No, because now we have to do that with every number.
But it's not. How many numbers are there? That's not too much.
No, actually, there are.
Really?
many.
You don't like this? I haven't even started yet.
Dad, what about 0.000001?
Okay, well, let's
And
get that. I got that. I'm on it.
0000.
I'm on it. 0, we got that one too.
No, Dad, this is inefficient.
All right, so what's going on here? What do we do instead that could be more efficient? Think about it. Whatever current time is, we want to return that.
I just don't know, like...
Instead of returning, I'll tell you, the thing you want to change is that. Instead of returning 1, what can we return?
Current time.
Okay, cool. So that would work as long as current time was between 0 and 1. Do you agree with that?
What? Why? Why would it only work between 0 and 1?
Well, just because of the what I'm talking about here. It would actually return, whatever. But what we want to do is we want to get time in terms of a percentage, 0 and 1. So 1 is 100%, and 0 is what percent? 1 is how many percent?
0.00%.
Okay, and what is 1?
100.
100 what?
Percent.
It's that all the way complete. Okay, and I think the same thing in here in terms of why. What we need to do is we need to kind of figure out kind of what's our start time, right? And that's going to kind of, we want to map that to 0. And what's our ending time?
End time.
When do we stop the animation? We're going to map that to 1. And similarly, we have what's our start position, our start value. And we're going to map that to 0. When I say map, what I mean is we're going to kind of multiply by it. And what's our ending value? Does that make sense? That's kind of what we need. So we need a start time, end time. We figured out start time, right?
Yeah.
We need end time. Well, one way to figure out end time is to give it a life. Give it a life, number of seconds. So let's do that. Let's come up here. And
Wait, but we don't want to just... Oh.
We don't want to what?
I was going to say we don't want to destroy the camera. So it wouldn't be called a lifespan.
It doesn't matter. Anything we do here can conflict, can have names that are the same as other classes, as properties in other classes. There's no collision. Okay?
No, but we're not going to destroy the camera after this. So I feel like lifespan wouldn't be a great name.
We're not going to... Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, this is the smooth mover, not the camera. But you don't want to use lifespan.
But we're dragging this to the camera. Yeah,
so what do we want to call it?
Probably time before...
Duration?
Yeah, duration.
Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type in AF for an auto-implemented property, and I'm going to call it duration. You can do the same thing right now on yours. Go do that.
AF.
Yeah, A is for auto-implemented property, which is a lot like a variable. And it's public by default, so it saves you from having to switch it around. So now you can call this duration. Coding Gorilla. Coding Gorilla says, there are 3 rules of programming. 1, naming is hard. 2, off by 1 errors suck. And then Pudding's like, What's 3? I need to know what 3 is. I think there might have been an off by 1 error in the last claim. All right, so we've got duration. Okay. This method we're going to call get value. I'm catching up with you. Whoops, let me go switch over here to my machine. Calling it get value. It returns a float. It's going to be public. It also has the current time. Okay. So I think what we need, we're talking about mapping, right? So we've got a start time and a duration. I need to find out percent complete is what I need. I need like a float here called percent complete. Go do this as well, Kim. I want you to do this at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Wait,
watch what I'm doing, so because I want you to stay active on this, right? Percent complete I just did inside I created percent complete inside of get value.
VF.
It's faster if you type in VF. And you're going to say percent complete. And over here on mine, I do not have a return value yet. So that return line you've got there, we're gonna kind of change that up a little bit. But yeah, good job on getting that. Line 16, we'll comment that out for now if you want, or delete line 16 if you want. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a method right here that I'm going to call. So watch what I'm doing here, Campbell. I'm going to say equals get percent complete. And I'm going to pass in the current time. Like that. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? Switch back over.
For some reason, I'm not seeing IntelliSense on your machine.
On my machine, you're not seeing it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it showed up when I just typed that in. Let me try it again. Come back over here. I do see IntelliSense. You don't see it?
Okay. No, now I see it.
Okay.
I just didn't see it before.
Okay. So I'm calling that get percent complete. Each word starts with an uppercase letter. Good. Open paren, and we're going to pass in as a parameter to it the current time. Yeah, so says Lord Pascal. Cool. Put the caret on get percent complete.
Control C.
Hit Control dot. Hit the code rush key to bring up the menu.
Oops.
Control Z to undo.
I'm hitting it.
Control Z.
Yeah.
Let me grab the mouse on your machine. Wow. Undo's not available.
Oh, wow.
All right. Get percent complete.
Huh. That was super weird.
Yeah, undo is not available, which means I want to close down the file and bring it back in again. Let's see, recent files.
Smooth mover.
And do we have undo available now? Let's try and make a change. Undo's still not available. Is it only in this file? Undo's available here, just not in smooth mover. Closing it and I think we're gonna have to restart it. Let me just close down here.
Open any of the scripts and
oh look, it added the script for us right here automatically.
Yeah.
See that? All right. I'm gonna start up one more time. And
should open all of them.
If we get undo back.
Yeah, it's gonna open all of them.
All right, I added a space and I hit undo. Now we've got the undo stack back. Okay, good. So now we've got get percent complete. Right here, I want you to hit the code rush key on get percent complete and declare the new method. And now this is your target picker. It allows you to select where you want to put it. Just hit up and down.
I remember.
You got it? And hit enter when you're ready to put it in.
Whoa.
Okay. You can delete that code that's selected for you right there.
Well, why did it add that?
It added that in case you don't do anything. It's called throwing an exception, which basically is a way for the programmer to tell the operating system or the program that an error has occurred. Okay, we want to get the percent complete. When current time is, in fact, let's do this. I'm going to switch to my machine. I'm just going to go through the logic of this. It's a little tricky, but I'd like you to follow as best you can, Campbell, on this, okay? So it's going to look like this, I think. If current time is less than my start time, which should never happen, I'm just going to do a return 0, okay? And I'll paste this code over to you, but just try to follow along with the logic. So if the current time is ever less than my start time, my percent complete is always 0. Do you agree? Oh, you're trying to write it right now. Here's Campbell right now over here on his machine. Then you can just type in R0. Return 0. Does that make sense to you? If we haven't started, if we haven't hit the start time yet,
then nothing has happened.
Yeah. I'm going to make a change on your machine. Give me a sec. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to, start time. I am going to, did I get that? No, I didn't get the rename. Hold on. Let's try again. Rename. Start time.
Start time.
What's going on? Why isn't the rename working? Maybe I need to bring it up through the refactoring. I don't think you have a shortcut.
Wait, why are we making it capital?
Interesting. All right, that's not working for me. Let's do this instead.
Whoa.
I want to make it public, and I want to make it. I'm going to call it start time, like that, and see if you can do a rename on this, Campbell, to make it start with an uppercase S.
Okay.
Because I just realized maybe we want to have an animation start later. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Start time.
Okay. All right, so we can set the start time or we can call start, either one. If we call start, it's going to set it equal to the time.time. Okay? Next, back over to my machine. The next line of code is we need to know how much time has passed. This time.time is in seconds. Okay? My duration is going to be in seconds too. Got that, Camel?
Yeah.
My duration is in seconds. So what I want to do is I want to check to see, well, I can actually do the opposite of this, the other side of this check, right? If I can say, hey, if current time is greater than my end time, which I don't have yet.
No.
And I'm going to declare it here locally.
End time is equal to start time plus current time.
Plus what?
Current time.
No.
Wait, no.
It's something on my screen. The piece we want to add, my end time is equal to start time plus what? In other words, if I want to find out when my end time is 1, I have to add something to start time. What do I add to start time? It's the distance between these two. What do I add?
Percent complete?
Nope. What would I add to the beginning of a time to find out what its end time is?
Its duration.
There you go. That's it. So we're going to add our duration to it, like that. Coding Gorilla says cookies. We need a. You know what we need for the show, Campbell? I think we need a cookie dance party that has cookies dropping from the sky. You like that idea?
And then we should also make real cookies drop from the sky.
Real cookies.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. If you like cookies, but you know we don't really like cookies, right?
No.
All right. So what happens? What am I going to return if current time is greater than end time?
If current time is greater than end time, then we want to stop doing whatever we're doing.
Well, what am I returning? This is going to get my this method I'm in is called get percent complete. How complete am I if the current time is greater than end time?
Full complete.
What?
Complete.
So what am I returning?
1.
R1 is what I type in, and I get return 1. So now I've got, if we haven't started yet, return 0. In fact, one of the things I can do is I can come in here and I can introduce a local and call this we have not started yet. See it? And now if we've not started yet, return 0. Okay? I can also come in here and I can say, do the same thing, introduce a local here, and we're going to call this animation has ended. Right? You with me?
Yep.
Okay. Next, we need to find out the values in between where we are. So the percent complete is going to be, what we need to do is find out how much so far. So how far into, since we started, are we? So what this is going to look like, how much time
has passed.
And that's going to be equal to my current time minus something. What is it?
Minus your start time.
Perfect. That's exactly right. How much time has passed is here. Okay? Now, to get a percentage, right, we need to divide one thing by another. That's what we need to do. We know how much time has passed. There's another thing we need to know here, and that is our, we actually don't need to know it. We already have it. It's our total duration. So what do I return? What's the fraction I return to give me a percentage?
The fraction you return to give you a percentage is...
What number's on top?
How much time has passed?
Okay, go ahead. How much time has passed divided by what?
Divided by 100.
That is incorrect, son. It is not 100. It's one of the values that you see on screen right now.
Oh. Percent complete?
We don't have anything,
no, we don't.
do we? This is a function that returns percent complete. So to return percent complete, we have to have one thing divided by another. Generally, whenever you want a percentage, it's the part divided by the whole. The part is how much time has passed. What's the whole? Yeah, Coding Gorilla is, yes, this has actually occurred to me. He says, he's sort of correct. It's 100% of the max value. Yes, he's sort of correct. Your intuition of dividing by 100 is correct. And if the duration was 100 seconds, you would be absolutely correct. But what if duration is 50 seconds? Then you don't want to divide by 100, you want to divide by 50. What if duration was 2 seconds?
Divided by duration.
Oh, there it is, right there. How much time has passed divided by duration? Think about it. Your time that's passed is in seconds. Your duration is the whole. It's the whole number. Our percentage of the duration, percentage of the time complete, right? That's what we're going to return. So returning 0 if we haven't started yet. Returning 1 if we've already finished. Maybe I already say this. Already finished, right? Makes the code easier to read, right? Otherwise, we're going to do that. That's get percent complete. Back over to get value. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, now we got to do something similar here. Let's see. I want to rename this to, whoops, I think I hit the wrong key. Build. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, I want to, let me take start time here. I'm going to change this to uppercase. Everywhere it appears. And I'm going to make it a auto-implemented property like that. So I've got something that kind of matches yours. I'm going to take what I wrote, get percent complete, come over to your machine. I'm going to paste that in. Okay? I'll use selection increase to select this, and then I'll just paste. Okay? So now you've got get percent complete. You with me?
Yes.
You feeling a little lost?
No.
Not yet. All right, that's awesome. Okay, next, now that we've figured out the time, the percent complete, what we've effectively done is we've taken any start time you give it, like say start this at 3 o'clock, and any end time you give it, say stop it at 5 o'clock, right, a 2-hour distance, and we've turned it into a number between 0 and 1. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We have done that successfully. We need to do the same thing between start value and end value. So what I need to do is I need to create 2 more floats. So I can just use Shift-Enter to duplicate over here.
Shift-Enter.
Call this start value, right?
And then Shift-Enter.
Another one, yep, Shift-Enter again, and call this end value. And don't forget you can use Alt and left and right to do camel case selection. Combine that with Shift key to select. So I've got start value and end value. What we're trying to do, what we need to do is take this percent complete and find out how far between these two. And I think I want to create a new method here. I'm going to say return get value from.
Why is it automatically why is there automatically a get set in the public?
So what's going on with that? So this is something kind of special here. This is what's called a property. And a property you can tell because of the get and the set. Right now, this is shorthand. What this means is we can access this and it'll store it. It'll have a getter that can get its value and a setter that can set its value. But one of the things that you can do is you can convert the property using CodeRush to a property with backing field. And now what that does is give you something like this, which is a little bit different, still shorthand. Basically, the get, this means, hey, we're going to write to this variable called start time. And our setter, we're going to do this line of code that says the value coming in is going to go to start time, right? All it's doing is kind of showing you the mechanics behind the property. But watch what you can do. You can also come in here and choose introduce setter guard clause or expand setter. If you expand the setter, it'll get to here. Now, whenever I set a new value to start time, I can do something. Like maybe play a song. So whenever the value changes, we could do something crazy like play a song if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Hold on. Campbell's checking out the election 2020 U.S. results over here.
Waiting and watching.
I'm calling it to Joe Biden. Joe Biden's got it. All right. So let's see. So that tells you a little bit about it. We'll explore properties more in a later episode, but for right now, just know it's a lot like a variable. It's a lot like a variable, okay?
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to say return get value from percent. And I'm going to pass in percent complete, like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to declare this, just trying to simplify things, right? Get them, and now I've got to get value from percent. I have the percent complete. Well, what we need to do is we need to find out, the code's going to look like this. We have a start value, and we need to add percent. The result is going to look like this. Let's do this. When it's 0, Campbell, what are we going to return?
0.
Nope. What are we going to return? It's one of our 4 properties above. When percent complete is 0, in fact, I can just write this down. If percent complete is equal to 0, what are we going to return?
I don't know.
Well, I want to get where we are, what our value. We're trying to get the value. We have a start value and an end value. I'll give you a hint. It's one of those two.
Is it start value?
It is. When percent complete is 0, we want to return the start value. When percent complete is equal to 1, what do we want to return?
We want to return end value.
Right, we want to return the end value. Now let's think of this in terms of distance between you and me. Okay? Let's say I'm 0 and you're 1. Okay? And time is at 0. Where should my finger be?
It should be with you.
Right here. And what if time is at half?
It should be right in between us.
Right between us. It's multiplying the percent complete times our distance.
Yes.
But it's also adding the starting point, wherever I am, because this is a start value. Let's say I'm not 0. Let's say over there the planet's 0. I'm 1 and you're 2. So my start value is 1. My end value is 0. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Let's say that again. Planet's 0. I'm 1. You're 2. You with me?
Yeah, I'm right here.
My start value is 1. My end value is 2. And I'm half the way through. Where should the finger be?
It should be with you.
Nope. We're halfway through.
If the planet is 0 and the end value is 2.
Planet 0, but start value is 1. I want to start with Mark and go to Campbell.
Okay, well then it should be halfway between
halfway
us.
between. How do we get to that? We take my start value and we add to me half the distance between us.
Yeah.
So we need to know the distance between us.
Yes.
And we need to multiply that by what?
By... Wouldn't we be adding the start... Oh, wait, by... I don't know.
Okay, good answer. I love it. So here's what it looks like. We need to know the distance. So I'm going to create a variable here, type float. We're going to say distance between values. You like that name?
Yeah.
And what's the formula for that?
Distance between values is... Wait, it's... The... Wait, 1 second. I know this.
We talked about this a bit before. If you want to find the distance to a target from yourself.
Oh, it's subtraction, right?
Yeah,
you would use subtraction, and it is the point that you want to get to minus where you are.
Right. So what's the formula?
End value minus start value.
That's exactly right. That is the distance between values, right? Now I'll create another variable here called distance traveled so far. And what's the formula for this?
Oh, it's start value plus percent complete.
You're kind of close, but I just want to talk about the distance traveled. So if I'm 1 and you're 2 and we're talking about halfway across, that distance is half of the distance. It's not 1.5, it's only 1/2, right? If I'm 1 and you're 2, right? So what's the distance traveled is only 1/2, or if I say we've only gone 1/4 of the time, it's only 1/4. So what?
We can still use start time, right?
What?
We can use start time even though it's declared in a different method.
We do not need start time to solve this. We've already figured out because we're passing in percent complete, right? So if distance traveled so far is what? And I'll give you a hint. It's a multiplication. The formula is multiplication. We have to multiply something by something. And everything you need to see is in this method in terms of what we're going to multiply. How do we figure out how far we've traveled?
Distance between values is part of it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the first
Times
thing.
what?
Oh, right. I was just about to say I don't know if it's the first thing or second thing, but then I realized it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right? Times what? What goes here?
Start value.
Start value. So my start value is 1. Distance between values is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Distance traveled so far.
No.
Nope, because we're not using percent complete. We really need to base it on percent complete. If I multiply anything by a percentage, it's now that percentage of its original thing.
No, but we're trying to determine what float percent or what percent complete is, right?
No, we're not. We're trying to get the value from the percent. We're passing in percent complete. We've already done that here, where I called get percent complete, and now I'm passing it in here.
Oh.
That's the answer I'm looking for. The distance traveled so far between us is percent complete times our total distance. So if we're 1/10 of the way, if we're 10% across, the distance will be this big.
Uh-huh.
And if we're 20% across, the distance will be that big. Right?
Yeah.
And if we're 30%, it'll be like that big. And if we're 50%, it'll be that big. We're multiplying it across by the total distance. Do you agree or not? Do
Yeah,
you see
I
it?
agree.
Okay, finally, last step is we need to return a value that's going to be a combination of, we need to add distance traveled so far plus something. We need to add this to something.
Itchy eyes.
What goes here? What are we going to return?
Start time. Wait, no, sorry, not start time. Blech. It's start value.
There you go. It's start value. we take our starting value, which is my value, and add to it the distance traveled so far. So this will work for any start value and end value. The only thing I want to do here is I just want to come in here and say, hey, look, if you're less than or equal to 0, or if you're greater than or equal to 1, we're just done. Okay? So if somebody passes in 120% complete, we don't ever go further than end value. And that's it. I think that's the code.
Let's try it.
Okay? Notice we only have what's public. We have get value is public, and we have start. Okay? That's all we have. All right, so now what I want to do is this. I want to take my smooth mover. Let me do this. I'm going to just copy all this code. I'm going to come over to your machine, and I'm going to just paste it in over here on your machine. So we'll replace all of this with this code that we kind of collaboratively wrote. Okay? Then, back over to my machine. We're going to create an instance of this smooth mover. And here's where we see if this actually works. Where was the problem code? In missile behavior? Where was that line of code?
Yeah, it was in missile behavior. It was
I'm not seeing it here.
It's camera Y -3.
Let me show you a cool
No,
thing.
wait, do the enter on the number pad. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
In the numlock section.
And then jump to symbol.
Jump to symbol, camera Y.
Camera. Oh, that's a beautiful idea for finding it. I love it.
Y, and then it's -3, which will get you
it's
to
in.
it.
Looks like it's in camera follow. I've got 2 here. I'm not sure why I'm seeing that.
Because there are 2 instances of it. No, it's not in camera follow. It's in game logic.
Oh, okay. What's interesting is I'm seeing this. Both of these here, they're both the same. I'm not seeing in game logic in here though.
Huh. Try doing camera Y -3.
I don't have it open though. So
You
let's
don't?
go. Yeah, I don't have it open. That could be the problem.
Oh,
Let me
that's-
go open up game logic.
No, camera Y isn't in here. We get it from a different script.
Oh, oh, I see. I got to it. I just needed tab to next reference to find it. Okay. Pretty sure the transition jump is caused by the sudden change to camera Y. So now what I want to do, so camera Y is the problem thing we have to change. That's what we have to change. So what I want to do instead here is instead of saying camera Y, being a float, I think I want to make it a smooth mover. That's what I think I want to do. And I want to say, in the start, I want to say camera Y is equal to new smooth mover. That creates a new instance of the smooth mover. I want to set some values to it. I want to at the very least say its duration. How long do you think it should take to move the camera down? 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay,
1
1
second
second is
so
my
that it's-
duration. So I'm just going to do this. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this to duration seconds. So I know that's what it is, right? That's my duration seconds. I haven't started it yet, but it's going to take 1 second. No, I'm going to do, let's see. If we bring the smooth mover in, we're not going to be able to really make a change to it inside of Unity. And we kind of want it to be, what was it? What? Can you look on your machine? What's it setting on your machine?
What's
Camera
what
Y
setting?
right now. It's default in Unity. So if you go bring up,
Camera.
yeah. Is that it? Is it the camera follow? Camera Y is 5. Okay, so I kind of want it to be a 5. So I'm going to say start value. Whoops. That came out of nowhere right there. Not sure how we hit that button. Did you do that on your side, Camel?
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
I don't have those buttons.
Okay, that's really bizarre. So I want to say start value is, let's close down the keyboard camera here. Start,
Oops.
whoops.
Sorry, that was me.
You did that. That one was you for sure. Okay.
That one was me.
So I'm going to say start value is equal to 5. And I'm going to come down and I'm going to say end value is equal to 5. like that. Okay? Because I don't want any animation at the beginning. Its duration in seconds is that, and that's all I need to know. Now, when I come down here, I'm going to go grab camera Y, and I'm going to change it to get value. And what am I going to pass into it?
I don't know.
Look at the tip. Look at the tooltip right beneath. It says float.
Float current time.
That's what comes back. Current time. How do I give it
time.time.
There you go. Time.time. Cool. So now I'm going to call get value on there. And with that right there, that's not bad. But now I still want to do a tab to next reference on this. Because now we got a problem. Camera Y is equal to camera Y minus 3. Well, we can't do this. It's not a float anymore. It's a smooth mover. So now what I want to do is I want to say camera Y dot end value is equal to camera Y dot something minus 3. What is this dot going to be here? Which of these properties am I going to use? End value? What is it?
Start value?
Let's see that. Start value minus 3.
No, never mind.
It's not going to be start value, I think. Let me do one more thing, though. I want to say start value is equal. Right here, I'm going to add this line of code. Or, even better, I'm going to call a method in here called reset. And watch what I'm going to do in here. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to declare that. So there's reset. I'm inside my smooth mover. And I'm going to say start value is equal to end value. That's what reset is going to do. It's going to take the start and move it up to the end. Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay? That's what reset's going to do. Cool. Then I'm going to set my new end value.
But then won't we just be constantly trying to go down?
No, not really, because this only happens if the player position goes off the track. Now at this point, end value and start value are the same, which means this line of code totally works. Or I could just come in and say end value minus 3, like that. Yeah. And then the last thing I want to do is I need to call a method to tell it now's the time to start animating. What method will I call? It's one of these purple ones right here. In fact, I can hit the tab, this key, and say hit a letter M to see only methods, like that. It's one of these. And I can do one more thing, I think. I can hit H for hierarchy and say, hey, only look at smooth mover. Don't go up the hierarchy at all. So hit the letter 0 and then get the M. And now it's one of these public methods here. Get value, reset, or start. What am I going to call? Start. Because I need it to know that right now is the time to go. So when I call start, remember that? Yeah. It's going to set start time equal to time. It knows the duration seconds is already set. That means it'll be a 1 second animation. I think we're done, and I think this will fix it. Should we try it?
Yep.
Okay, let's try it and see if it works. Run. So when we go off the track, we're looking for a smooth camera motion as we go down. And it should take about 1 second. Here we go.
Yeah.
I think it worked.
It feels like we're going back.
The block is not jumping.
Though.
See, the block used to jump, remember that? Yeah. And now we've got it. All right. I'm sorry, what did you say, Campbell?
It feels a little bit like we're going back. I don't know why, but it does.
Backwards?
Yeah, a little bit on that jump. Just like slowly.
Let's go take a look at it. Let's run it again, and we'll look very carefully at it. All right, cool. Here we go. Yeah, it's smooth. It's smooth.
Does it feel like it's going back to you, though?
Nope. Not to me. I don't feel it.
Or the camera, I mean?
I don't think so. Let's look at it. Uh-oh. I've got your problem. Where the game was slowing down. Or at least it was. Yeah, it slows down when a lot of these are out here. We can't have a lot of the power-ups. But yeah, we've totally smoothed it out. The other thing that's super cool about this, Campbell, is if we want to do any kind of smooth animation, right, it's basically we're talking about something like this, right? It's all we have to do. right? And we can do it anywhere. We just call get value passing in time.time. In fact, I could even make it so get value, if we're assuming the current time is going to be used, right? I could come in here and I could say, I could give it a default value, which is equal to float dot, let's say, not a number, which is kind of a special value that says, hey, it's not a number. And I can say, hey, if current time is equal to float, not a number, I wanted to use time.time, I can just come in here like this. And now what I'm done is now I've reduced the burden of call. Now I don't need to pass anything into it anymore. See that?
Yeah, I
Go ahead,
see
what's
it.
your question?
Do you think that there probably is, but do you think that there's a method, or not a method, but a snippet of code for Unity that says, like, if this is clicked?
Yes, we saw something like this a little bit. When you say if it's clicked, if an object is clicked by the mouse,
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
in game view.
I bet there is. I bet there's something that can take a mouse click and find an object underneath it based on the camera position. The way I would look for that is I'd just come in here and I would say C# Unity find object under mouse.
But we want to only do it when it's clicked. Yeah. When it's clicked. Oh.
Got it to work. Had to move the mouse handling to a different script. And so they're calling physics 2D, get ray intersection. They're doing screen point to ray from the camera.
If input dot get mouse button down is also one.
Right. And look what they're doing. They're calling screen point to ray, passing in the input mouse position. So that's going to give it a ray, which is like a long vector, like an infinitely long vector. Then it's going to
once
say,
it
get the
hits
ray
something-
intersection, what's there, finds the hit, checks to see if the hit collider's not null, and if the transform is equal to this transform. Now that's interesting. No, wait, what is... Yeah, I think there's an ampersand missing here, is what I think is happening. Raycast hit this game object. So basically that means we've clicked on this one. And I'm not sure what the flipped is going on here. And there's some sprite things going on here, some special things. But that's how you can get it to click on an object.
Okay.
Okay, the answer is yes, we can find it.
I was just thinking because, do you remember when we added the, like, eyes and the tail to the
Right?
player? And then, I forget who it was, but they said, and then you can add a skin for each of the people who has a fanfare. So there would be a gorilla.
Right.
Yeah. I think I figured out how to do that.
Oh, you think you figured out how to do that? That's awesome.
We would use, I think, the mouse click, and then, like, there would be, like, which skin do you want, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then once a certain one is clicked, we would turn off the mesh renderer on a bunch of the things, and then turn on the mesh renderer on a bunch of other things.
Yes, I'm 100% with you. I think we could do something just like that. That's awesome.
Okay.
All right, before we go, I want to do code review. I want to look at this new camera Y kind of thing we did, this smooth mover, right? We came in here. I want to look at the code.
Oh, smooth mover isn't saved.
What'd you say?
Smooth mover isn't saved.
Oh, right here.
The
There's a
script.
change that hasn't been saved. Huh, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I just saved it. There is some things we can do to make this a little bit easier to use. This get value also requires parens. And what I really want to do is I want to use something called a property here, is what I want to do. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a property here called value. And it's going to be a read-only property. So I'm going to type in R for read-only property. And it's of type float, so I'm going to type in F. So RF is going to give me a read-only property. I'm going to say this is going to be, we're going to call this value, like this. And I'm just going to call get value directly here, like that. And now by doing this, I've got a property called value, and it's just calling get value. See that, Campbell?
Yeah.
It's calling it with nothing, which means we're going to use the current time, right? Now what I can do is back over here, I can simplify this to now just become that, camera y.value. See it? And it doesn't matter what time. Watch the microphone. Watch the microphone because of the sound. Now it doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what time it is. It'll always figure out its value. Okay?
Yeah.
Then these 3 lines here, these are kind of interesting. I could come in and say, let's instead pass these into here. Like 1, 5, and 5. So I have a duration and a start and end value in its constructor. And so what would happen is this would go away, right? Come in here, generate constructor, like that. And then we're going to say, I just want to essentially have the similar code here. This is going to be is equal to V1. And this is V2. We're going to give these better names in a second. And this one down here is V3. And I'm just going to rename these. Like that. And this one is going to be start value. Like that. And this one's going to be duration seconds. Like that. So now we've got a constructor that takes parameters. This is a constructor that does not take anything. The difference between these two, the reason that you can tell the difference between a constructor and any other method is a constructor, its name is the same as the class name, and it doesn't have a return type. There's no void or there's no float here. See, it looks a little different. So those are constructors. I'm just going to put a comment here that says constructors. Right there. Maybe I'll just call this constructor.
Oh, I was meaning to ask, does tab to next reference work with scripts and comments?
Not with comments, but it does work with like scripts. I can hit the tab key here.
Here's, I mean, like if there's a script that says, I don't know, for example, if, and then there's another if statement.
No, it does not work with those keywords. It only works with symbols that you've declared.
What?
Symbols you've declared, like camera Y is a symbol up here. Player is a symbol, right? Things you've declared. Now let's continue to do our code review here. This looks good, right? I declare it. I have one line of code to initialize it. We're almost done. Are you asking about that?
He has class in it, like I have to know what you guys will.
Oh yeah, well we're going to stop soon. Camera Y is here. Is used here. Easy to use. Here's something maybe we might want to do. Instead of saying reset like this, we might do reset -3 like that. And let's go into reset. Or maybe not reset, maybe a different one. Maybe instead of calling it reset, we call something that does all of these things. I think it's going to be, maybe we'll call it shift. Like this. And we're going to say a -3. So we're going to have that one new method. Okay? We're going to declare that. That the value is going to be...
and we don't need reset anymore, do we?
No, we just still need it. We're going to call it from here.
Oh.
But now look at how this code kind of simplifies. Now we just call reset. We say n value is equal to n value plus delta. Like that. See how this code is easier to read? Because we don't have all those dot delimited qualified pieces. Right? And so now we've got this simple call to shift. And this just shifts the value forward or backwards. I'm going to do this. Shifts the value forwards or backwards from the current point. From the current position. And maybe we should do this. Just to allow this to be called multiple times, we might want to say n value is equal to value, which is going to calculate the current position that we're at. So that's just, so in case we call it, if we're in the middle of animating and we say, let's animate to a new place, right? It'll start from where we are as opposed to from the end value.
Yeah.
That'll stop any jumps from happening. So now we've got this super cool call called shift and just one line of code here. And we're just, remember, this is our smooth operator. It used to be a float by that name. Now it's our smooth operator. All right? And it looks like with that yawn where you almost ate the microphone, we're going to end the show. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I'm going to get you a raid going over here. Campbell, any last words you want to say to our good friends out there who are hanging out with us today for this awesome KidzCode stream? Anything you want to say?
No.
We'll send you over to Clarkio. Do it right now. Start the raid. He says it's got a big be right back up there. You still not there? Oh, he's there. We're starting the raid. Here it goes, kid. Here we go, kid.
Bye.
Really, see you tomorrow.